Flash the corner. Go on, guys, please get one yourself, son. And what a great goal! Not so. Shoots.
What is happening, everybody? Welcome back to OnlyLeedsBros. Hope everybody is keeping and doing well, and you're very welcome along to Monday night's live stream here, where we bring you all the latest news around Elland Road. Got a little bit to get into. We're going to speak about the Villarreal match, what we thought of that game and stuff like that, and then we're going to talk about a couple of loose links that we did see today. Before we do get into the video, Dylan, what's happening?
Oh, good. Bank holiday weekend over here in Ireland, so taking it easy, nothing too mad, and then I'm actually off for the week. So to the run up to the AC Milan game in Aviva, so yeah, I'm buzzing. So it's just nice and easy week, nothing too mad, nothing too hectic. Taking my time.
It's the only way, isn't it? Then let's get straight into it and see who's in the building with us this evening. We've Danny Talks Leeds says smash a like and subscribe. Please do that. And we've got John Pepper here. My only worry, if Nemecha and Piroe gets injured, we definitely need a striker before Everton game. 100% I agree, buddy. Sure, they are doing their best. It should have been the first signing as well. I know, buddy, as well. And we'll get into the striker conversation as well, because look, it seems like it's rumbling on a bit now. All right. Danny says, I don't think we get Muniz. I have a strange feeling we don't get anyone until just before the Everton game. I hope I'm wrong. I hope you're wrong as well, buddy. I hope you're wrong. We'll get into Daniel Farke's post-match press conference as well after the Villarreal game, what he said as well. And as always, guys, get your thoughts in as well and let us know. John Pepper says, I think it would be the only suggestion, would you like to get Jack Clark back as he's homegrown as well? I don't think we would get him back as well. And yeah, look, I don't know, will he kind of be what we need, Dylan, in the Premier League? I'm not too sure with that one. I'm not too sure. Let us know what you think of that one, guys. Scott says, evening lads, up the bros. Thanks very much, Scott. Thanks for popping in, buddy. Matty from Imagine Not Being Leeds is in the building. 4 days, lads. Get me on that plane. Yeah, can't wait to see you, buddy. Yeah, can't believe Leeds are playing in Dublin on Saturday. Yeah, just feels surreal as an Irish Leeds fan. Richard is here as well. Says, evening lads. Evening, Richard. Thanks for popping in, buddy. Only Irish bros. Your arse is still sore. The arses still are a little bit sore. I do have to say that, buddy. The are still a little bit tender. Evening, bros. Watching you guys while the beast gets ready. Yeah, I know. I don't watch that at all. I just let the missus, and anytime she tries to bring that up to me, I'm just like over my head. Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about, but it is what it is. Evening, Dillo. Evening, Dan. Dan the man. And evening, everyone. Thanks very much. Tony, thanks for popping in. Evening, chat, and even your pair of legends says, Jam, thanks for popping in, pal. Clark's ship has sailed like the Titanic. Ronan is in the building also as well. Even Ronan, thanks for popping in, buddy. Dylan, look, let's have a little chat about the Villarreal game. We won't say too long on it, because obviously, look, 1-1 draw, but it was nice to see the lads back at Elland Road. Them new signings that we have in the door, you know, your Bial and Nemecha. We had good months in getting a run out at Elland Road as well. Longstaff stack as well, I thought was fantastic. But we'll go through it. What did you think of the Villarreal game?
Yeah, look, I didn't watch it live, I'm going to be honest. Obviously, we were doing the cycle, but from videos I've seen, and then obviously what Leeds put up of the highlights of the game, yeah, it was kind of one of them games, I think, of end to end to a certain degree. I thought Leeds controlled the game an awful lot. Yeah, I wouldn't say overly pleased, but definitely pleased with the outcome of the game. I think, you know, there was a few chances where we could have got the second goal and vice versa for them. So, as Daniel Farke said in his press conference, I think it was a fair game for 1-0. But other than that, I have to agree with what you said there, Darren. I think Stack, for me, more or less was a standout, as well as surprisingly for me, because I always give out about him, was Brendan Aronson. I thought Aronson actually played very well as well. But you know what, like, it was a good camaraderie with the lads, like a good kind of pre-season game, let's be honest, a training game. But they're doing well. Certain lads like Schmidt as well, at times he'd be a laxy-daisy, but he's doing well, held up. You know, obviously he's going to be leaving, so. But I think everyone gave a good shift, including Mez. So yeah, I'm happy enough. There's still work to be done. We all know that, but pleased with it.
Yeah, me too, Dillo. Like, as I said, it's hard when pre-season games roll around. Like Danny says, that Aronson man of the match, and I thought Aronson was very good as well. I think you have to give him more credit due. He was very good out on that right hand side, but Yeah, for me, as I said, you can't read too much into it. It's a pre-season game. Look, it was definitely a step up for what we were used to, in the two previous games out in Germany when we were playing Bundesliga 3 and Bundesliga 2 side. So it was a big step up for the lads, a Champions League side, a very good Spanish side as well. And I thought we were decent enough. At the back, I thought we really held around. Obviously, apart from the goal, it was a bit of a scramble as well. Some people blaming Melier and that. Look,
You can't blame him
I
alone.
don't think you can do too much in
Do you
that
not think
situation.
I slowed it
Darlow
down?
was-
Do you feel like he saved that?
Yeah, look, I thought
He tipped
did
it onto the
okay, like.
crossbar. It looked like to me he tipped it onto the crossbar. I slowed it down. Look, it's
I thought Darlow was much better though in the first half. I do want to say I thought
His save.
Darlow was a lot better for me. As I said, it was mentioned there by Mr. Yorkshire Monkey as well. I thought Goodmunson was good as well, decent. I think if we can really get him bedded in and get him fit, I think he can be a real threat down that left hand side. He's very mindful as well of what's behind him, where we didn't see that a lot with Junior Firpo as well, where it's like if he get past the halfway line, he was like, after our misses out there telling you can go out for a few points, he was never coming back. Like, so I was happy to see Goodmunson the way he played. As I said, Aronson I thought was very good as well, but the standout for me, I think heads and shoulders above everyone else was Anton Stack. I'm really looking forward, Dylan, to seeing him, in the Premier League next season. He looked like a level above for me, Dylan. So yeah, look, as I said, look, a decent enough run out there. The result was obviously immaterial. It was obviously nice to not lose the game. You know what I mean? We probably could have won it, probably could have lost it, but the results don't really matter. And obviously, look, there's a big one now on Saturday in Dublin against AC Milan, which obviously we're going to. We hope they hope we win that. But a couple of issues as well, Dylan, around it as well. Obviously, we know the issue with Jayden Bogle injured as well. We don't know how bad it is. Farke saying they could potentially miss the game against AC Milan, and there's obviously 50-50 chance for the Everton game as well. You mentioned it there, Isaac Smith coming in. For me personally, I don't think he did great, and I think he showed all the signs of a player that probably is 1 foot out the door for me. I don't think he just has that level of quality, and look, we'll get into it a little bit more about Isaac Smith, but obviously the Dan James one as well, slight problem wasn't risked. Jack Harris as well, abductor issue as well. Now look at whether that is an abductor issue or there's something rumbling on in the background. So, but yeah, as I said, a couple of pros over, but also a couple of cons as well. And for me, Jayden Bogle and Dan James, that's a big one, Dylan, isn't it?
definitely. Sure, we seen it last season with the two of them, the dynamic duo, as I'd like to call them. They just read each other so well. Bogle is just phenomenal. He's definitely been a standout player for me. He's definitely in the top 5 of the best at the team at the minute for me. So for him to be out is a big miss. And then of course with Dan James, because I think this is going to be DJ's season where he kind of really shows what he's all about. And he's seen it last year in the Championship, but now that step up, will he take it to the Premier League? And I think he will. And the same with Bogle as well. There's that kind of noise around Leeds at the minute. Everyone's buzzing. Certain fans that aren't even Leeds fans are buzzing to see Leeds back in the Premier League. So there's a lot of noise in the background, and even coming over to Dublin, it's just it's very loud at the minute about Leeds United, and that's what I'm liking at the minute. That's what I'm loving about all these players coming in, people speaking highly of it. I know BMG there, he loves me speaking very positive, and I am, because what's not to speak about positive at the minute? Especially look, a few more signings it come in the door. We'll obviously get on to that, but. Yeah, I'm really happy. Just going back real quick to the Schmidt. There was one ball that he played in lovely, put Aronson behind. This is the type of thing that you want to see week in, week out. And we're just not seeming to get that with our fullbacks at the minute. That was the only thing for me that he done well. For the goal, I thought he was up. Their player very, very tight. Gave him the run in behind. And obviously the ball was whipped in, so I wouldn't be blaming Mez. It would be kind of more on the fringes of Schmidt not tracking his man, or not giving him, just giving that a yard or two away to get back. But other than that, look, errors, they're going to happen.
John says here, I think Tanaka had to be a starter even in the 10 class player. I agree as well. It's interesting, Dylan, with that midfield now. Obviously, it was a surprise for me that Tanaka didn't start against Villarreal, because I thought he would have started to try and get, the team that he has in his head, that starting 11 for the Everton game. But I think Saturday against AC Milan is going to be the real telltale sign of what he has in his head for that Everton game. He's going to want to start his starting 11. It'd be interesting to see if Tanaka is in that at the minute. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Smith just back from injury as well. Yeah, I know as well. It's obviously, Dylan, it's worrying, isn't it? Like that full-back issue at the minute, and it's like what we talked about. If we did get an injury to Jayden Bogle or Goodmunson, you're going to have Boyerm or Smith filling in there, and it just doesn't feel like it's the level required for the Premier League. Look, you can get away with it in a pre-season game, look, it's fine. But when you're really coming into the nit and grit of the Premier League, it feels like not enough. So I'm hoping to see a bit of movement, Dylan, this week. Towards the end of the week, that we get 1 or 2 in the door. It's gone very quiet again with the 49ers, and as we always say, Dylan, when it goes this quiet, it usually means that something's about to happen. So let's hope we get a little bit in the door. But we'll park the negatives, Dylan, and we'll focus on a little bit of positives. And I think one positive for me in this pre-season is that man Joe Piroe, Dylan. I think he's really taken the Premier League, to heart. He's obviously, he looks in great shape, Dylan. He looks lean. He looks fit. 4 goals in 4 games. Now, look, they're not the most sensational goals, but you have to be there to put them in. But what have you made of Joe Piroe so far this pre-season, and looking forward into the Premier League? Do you think he can do a job for us?
Definitely. I think you're going to just set me up for this question because I've kind of been hyping him up an awful lot, especially last season. Yeah, look, he's the man. He's definitely the man. Will he be the star man? I don't know. Time will tell, but we definitely need another striker. But I know it's mad. I think me and you said it on one of the videos, last season. Not that he was lazy or unfit, he just didn't make the runs, or he's not the quickest person. To see him, I know it's only a bleep test, lads, but I'm looking at it from a different perspective. Yeah. From last season, everyone called him the most laziest player, not making, including myself, by the way, making up the runs that he needed to get into the box. He wins the bleep test with him and Boyram. Obviously, Boyram being a legend that he is and showing that sort of standard of being at Leeds and just, making it aware to all lads that this is what you need to be hitting. But Piroe, for me, I love him, lads. I can't speak highly enough of him. I don't think he's going to be... I do, honestly, I do. Because I just think he's an old school striker. He doesn't have to give you everything, but he can score goals. And at the end of the day, if it goes in off his arse or whatever it is, excuse me language, but at the end of the day, a goal is a goal. But the man can strike, and he's always there at the end of it, and he doesn't miss howlers. Now, touch wood, someone's going to bookmark this and he's going to miss a howler now. Going into the Premier League. But I mean, you can trust him. That's for sure. So
yeah, then as I said, I'm looking forward to him. As I said, I've done a bit about him last Wednesday, and I'm just looking forward to see how he gets on. I'm quietly confident with Joe Piroe. I'm not putting a lot of pressure on him like the way we did last season with Matteo Joseph and saying, he's going to be 20 goals striker. I'm quietly confident to see how he got on. As I said, he seems like he's taking it very seriously. He looks sharp. He's after getting himself fit. I think just talks that he's after losing, a stone and a half, nearly 2 stone. He's after dropping as well, and he really looks. He looks in great shape. So fair play to him. That's a man that really wants to prove himself in the Premier League. And whether he has the quality to do that or not, but he's given himself the best fighting chance to take that step up to the Premier League. So all you can do for me is admire him for that. So yeah, I think it's class. I'm looking forward to seeing how he gets on, but we still need a backup striker, Dylan, just in case we can't put the eggs in one basket.
100%.
Skip says here, I find it crazy that some fans are saying Solomon ain't good enough for us now because we want Piroe and that was a once-off. Yeah, look, myself and Dylan said a Skip after we came on, obviously, when the Piroe deal fell through. And we said it at the time that it's just going to feel like now because, look, at Piroe's stats were absolutely unbelievable. He was very eye-catching as well, like what a player. And it always felt like no matter what player we were linked with next or what player Leeds United eventually do get in, that it's going to feel like a bit of a downgrade to Piroe. And look, it probably is going to be as well. But I don't go along with that narrative now that people are saying that, Solomon isn't good enough now. Like, as soon as the season was over, everyone was saying we need to sign Solomon. Every Leeds fan and their dog was saying we need to get Solomon sorted. And now all of a sudden he's not good enough for the Premier League because he's kind of being pushed out by Spurs as well. Like, I think probably where it comes from as well is that we kind of felt like we moved on from Solomon, and if it comes towards the tail end of the window and then Solomon is that left winger, it'll probably feel like that whole kind of process going out looking for a left winger, and then we end up getting Solomon. I think that's probably the reason why I don't think it's necessarily to deal with his talent and his quality, because we've seen it. We've seen how good he is. We know what he can do when he's fit and firing at all cylinders. Manor Solomon is a threat. And Farke said it in his post match as well after Villarreal as well that he evaded with that. He evaded with that. We're missing that attacking threat at the minute.
Definitely. Like, I'm gonna bring it back to the likes of Somerville. Someone said it in the previous video about he's really showing his true colours now being at West Ham, and he can't get away with it in the Premier League. Just constantly trying to cut in on the right and score a goal, where Solomon gives you both. He can go down the left hand side and whip a ball in with his left, or vice versa. Can cut in on his right. So, and he has that kind of trickery, and you should say, and I know I'm gonna laugh, but that little bit of stardust just to make it look. I know you missed that there, just a little bit of stardust. to make up for it. And yeah, look, I don't think Solomon would be a bad show. We know what he's about. And if we were to get him, then we all know exactly what way it's going to be next season in terms of positioning for the wingers. And then back to what we said last season again, it's that competition. Nando, Ramazani, DJ, and hopefully, look, I'd like to see Solomon come back. I really would. I can't see it happening, but like,
Yeah.
it'd be a nice option. Like,
Yeah. I wouldn't mind it 100%, Dylan. Danny's here. Remember this time last season we were all the talk, just hope it doesn't happen again. And that's what I said, Dylan. Like, I don't want to put too much pressure, do you know what I mean, on these players. Like I said, we keep saying that there's a question mark of all these players going into the Premier League season. As I said, all you can do is give yourself the best fighting chance, and Joel Piroe was doing that. So, yeah, looking forward to seeing how he gets on. He could be that Patrick Bamford that we didn't know we were going to get in that first season with Bielsa when he scored 16, 17 Premier League goals. Let's hope it's the same for Joe Piroe. Robbie says here, scoring goals is a natural ability. I'm convinced you can't teach someone to be a goal scorer. Yeah. Look, I've heard this before. Like, especially the natural kind of instinct. Look, you can practice finishing and you can practice the runs and stuff like that. But I think it's just instinct, Dylan, as a goal scorer. You know, we've seen plenty of great goal scorers all down the years, and I do think Piroe at times does lack that. There's times where I say that he does miss that in his game of, you know, trying to get into the box and get on the end of chances where he kind of more hangs around the edge of the box. I'd like to see him get in there a little bit more, do you know what I mean, and try beyond the one at the end of it, trying to finish the chances, because there's no doubt in and around that 18-yard box, if the ball drops to Joe Piroe's left foot, I think 9.5 times out of 10 it's going to hit the back of the net. So yeah, that's all we need to do, Dylan, and kind of see where it goes. What else have we got here? BMG, Dylan, your mate says, but yeah, would have been amazing, but would have been missed the first couple of games, so we have time to get a decent alternative. Yeah, and we know with Pajel as well, he was carrying a bit of an injury as well. So yeah, as you said, but it's a good way of looking at it, a positive, very positive way of looking at it. Mr. Yorkshire Monkey says, gone quiet on El Ghazi Dan. El Khannouss, watch this space. Yeah, maybe, buddy. And look, as I said, I've done a good bit of digging into El Khannouss today. We know now the release clause finishes on the 15th of August. I'm sure Leeds are going to want to trigger that, but then there also is talk of Palace being in from an RB Leipzig as well. So I think naturally this is going to come down to where the player wants to go. And, you know, again, if Palace are coming in or Leipzig, I think they're just outside European football. They might be Europa League, maybe Europa Conference League. Again, that could be the deal breaker for Leeds, you know, wanting to go play European football. But yeah, let's see, I did watch him. I went back and watched him against Leicester, against Florentina. They won 2-0. I think he played about 80 odd minutes. He looked really, really good again. It looked like a class above, and I don't think he's going to be there much longer. So it'd be interesting, Dylan, to see what way it's going to go with El Ghazi, isn't it, over the next couple of days, whether Leeds can get this one done.
As you said, the 49ers are gone very quiet, meaning there's something in the background coming. Will it be him? We don't know. It could be Solomon. It could be anyone. It could be someone we haven't even heard of or we've spoken about, or anyone that knows. I think regardless, at the end of the day, what I keep saying, and I'm going to keep saying it, is I truly fussed 49ers of what they're going to do here to build everything that they've got so far. Look, there's still a few little things that we need to work on. Fullbacks, for me, I think the fullbacks. Centre halves are perfect, 100%. I think the midfield has a great rotation in it. There's a good bit of quality there. It's just the attacking threat and then the fullbacks for me, really. But yeah, look, at the end of the day, it's rotation and competition. That's what I'm aiming for. So.
One here from Craig, he says, hey lads, would you be happy with Beto if Muniz was out of reach? I think at this stage, if you had asked me that probably 2-3 weeks ago, I would have said no, but I think it's just getting dangerously close now to the start of the season, close to the deadline of the window as well, and I just think we need to get something sorted, you know what I mean? And if we don't get Muniz and we end up going for a Beto, look, it's for me, it's something more than something different that we don't have. Beto's finishing at times hasn't been great, but he's a nightmare for defenders, know how to put himself about, brings the midfield into play. We could also play that style of play if we want as well. Probably very similar type of player to Nemecha as well, who I think has been very good, and you know, I'm looking forward to seeing him as well. But yeah, I think it'd be probably a little bit disappointing, Dylan, wouldn't it? But really, if we miss out on Muniz and end up going for Beto, that's my feeling at the minute.
Yeah, it's similar situation with the Bajau and Solomon one. We're obviously seeing Solomon, so we're all, you know, well, certain fans are kind of happy to take Solomon, but Beto can do a job as well. As you said, he does run ragged at times, but he holds it well. And then like that, if you're having someone wearing down the defence like that and then bringing Joe Piroe on, slot them away, well then it's a win-win, isn't it? Really.
Mark says here, why are we even playing Measure? Why not give the young lad Kearns a chance?
I think we're just gonna have to accept Mez is staying here, but it looks like that.
Yeah, it's gone pretty quiet on the Mez front as well. Hopefully, towards the end of the window, he gets
But,
his move as well.
Hopefully,
This is one as
very
well,
well.
Dylan, that, look, there hasn't been any links with this one as well, but the Midfield talk is heating up. Could we, should we? I don't think it's kind of heating up on any credible links. I think it's more heating up amongst the Leeds fan base that Leeds are kind of saying, I think just talk to him wanting to get out of there and possibly a loan deal. Look, I wouldn't mind it as well. I think he's a bully. He is a bully, and it's probably something that Joel Piroe doesn't really have, Dylan, and lacks in his game as well. He doesn't really seem to kind of ruffle a few feathers. He's more of a kind of a silky type of striker. Mitrovic is one of them, Dylan. Can score goals. He's big. He's bold. You know, puts himself about defenders. Like, yeah, I wouldn't be against this. Like, all the experience.
I think alone would suit.
I'd be
Yeah,
up for that.
definitely. Yeah, 100%. Look, it's one of these things. You know, when you said they're bully, it's something that all Leeds fans like. So if you can go in and ruffle up a few feathers or throw a few elbows, it'd be in our favour. Like, so why not?
It's just something different, Dylan, isn't it? That's what we like obviously say in the
Well,
Premier
yeah, you
League,
want
and,
different players.
You know, there's totally different games. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Horses for courses. We said it so many times last season, and again, he's something totally different now. He'd be the one if you weren't to get Muniz. Mitrovic would be the one then after me. Beto would feel a little bit of a in May one, but yeah. Mitrovic, yeah, for me, I'd definitely take that 100%. Solomon, if we get him back, got good months to replicate the overlaps Firpo gave us, it could be a weapon. It could be as well. I wouldn't be saying no to Solomon, definitely not. Prem is more physically demanding, so more chance, likes of Solomon and Byron will break down, unfortunately, probably. Solomon is a huge risk if we pay him anywhere near 20 million. Madness. Yeah, look, fair, and obviously that's the injury record is going to follow him everywhere he goes. Same as Sam Byron as well. It's going to be one of them things. The only thing you can see, the magic that Farke done with him last season, we're all obviously a bit worried as a fan base when he had that back injury. He seemed to get himself better, got himself back on the pitch. So, yeah, interesting to see what it goes with that left winger. Is El Khannouss still in that type where we're not really going to be looking at the left winger position now? Is it going to be, you know, the 4-2-3-1 where he's going to interchange that front three? You know, if you're Nanto, Ramazani, James, you know, El Khannouss, is he thinking that way they can kind of interchange? Same with Aronson as well. Like you just don't know what Daniel Farke
I'd like to
thinking.
think so. I'd like definitely for the formation, because it was something I was banging on about last season when, you know, where was Plan B? He just didn't change certain things that were completely obvious that needed to be changed. But I'd like to see that kind of rotation, and you know, as you said there, if a winger isn't on what way or what position that we're going to play, just for, as you said, different horses for different courses. I think it's essential, especially for the Premier League.
Yeah, totally agree with you. Yeah, agree with you. BMG says a great end to the window would be Mitrovic, Uche, Bakawa, Justin, Tanganga. Don't know if we'll go for any of them. Let them get them. Yeah,
BMG, I love the positive. I love the positivity, Bob. But
yeah,
dreams and reality, I don't think that's going to happen. Mitrovic, a good shout to be fair, but yeah, do you know what? Yeah,
I'm interested in with the Al Ghazi one to see how it goes. Look, obviously, I think if Leeds are really serious about Al Ghazi, I think this is the week that we have to go do it. Obviously, because we know the release clause ends the 15th. After that, then you can have Leicester City demanding whatever they want. You know, they could offer, they say, we want 40 million from, which would be ridiculous. Do you know what I mean? If we're going to do it, I think we need to do it now. Maybe we already have. Maybe we have talked to his representatives and he's holding out for one of the bigger clubs, and that's fine. Then we move on and we move on to the next one. So it is one to keep an eye on, Dylan, this one here. Let's talk about Dylan and another Leicester player, James Justin, because I was really interested. As I said, I was watching the Leicester game against Fiorentina, and James Justin wasn't in their squad, Dylan, at all. So it looks like he could be on his way out. Leeds United obviously need a full back. I'd be happy with this one 100%. Look, is he a Premier League starter? No, I don't think so. But I think him coming on, you know, to replace Jaden Bogle instead of an Isaac Smith, I think it makes all the sense in the world for Leeds to go after him. I don't think it would break the bank as well. I think this one probably makes sense for all parties.
Definitely, it's just that kind of backup as well, Darren. You know, I keep saying it, but it holds a memory in my head. Last season, looking at Joe Roden picking up a few knocks and looking at you, and you were biting your nails with that type of affair. So I think it's genuinely just giving us that kind of comfort, us as Leeds fans, because we've all been there, lads. You know, you see someone going out to pitch, you're going, oh no, we've no one to back up there, and then you're swapping and changing, or you end up playing stroke at left back, and you're going, what's going on here, lads? You know, it's just getting a bit messy now.
Yeah.
Look, it's a no-brainer for me. It's definitely, it's a good show, especially now with Bogle going out. You can't rely on Sam Byrne to play right back.
Yeah,
No
sounds
offense,
like a good
he's-
backup for me. Yeah,
Yeah.
sounds like a good backup for me, 100%. Are we still linked with Uche, or has that fizzled out, lads? I think it fizzled out. I think it was very loose links anyway, buddy. It definitely one that I would like, 100% I would be. But there's not much out there at the minute. It's very quiet at the minute. That's what's making me think something's about to happen. It feels like that period before we went on that run of signing Longstaff, Perry and Stack. It was about 8 days when it went very quiet, and it feels like we're in that period again. I'm hoping. I'm trying to think positively. I'm hoping it is, and something happens here. Pierre says, I like Muniz, but the club is the one that decides. Exactly, buddy. And yeah, there always are. It's gonna be Farke as well. Dylan, what did you make of Daniel Farke's comments anyway? Because I was interested to obviously see what he said after the game, what his thinking was. And obviously being pushed a little bit on the transfer situation. He obviously seems like he's very happy with the back line. I'd agree with that as well. I think we look decent at the back, obviously, apart from the full back positions. We spoke about that. The midfield, I think, looks really good, Dylan. I'm very happy that midfield. We've got such variety in there. But it is, Dylan, and it's evident to see. Anyone can see it. It's that front line at the minute. It's lacking a lot. We've heard Daniel Farke previously with the 49ers come out publicly and say, obviously, about getting a number 10. That never happened. He came out publicly again and said that he wanted in before the first international break. It feels like, Dylan, it needed to be a bit earlier, doesn't it? It feels like it needs to be for ever again. But when you hear that, what was your initial kind of thoughts? And
Yeah, look, as he said, it was a good shift. Deserved the draw, as I said. I think any Leeds fan out there kind of, if we had got the second goal, it probably would have been home and hosed, as you'd say. Yeah, look, he made it clear, Farke, about the signings that need to be, they're essential, particularly obviously that number 10. With Solomon, as I said, we brought him up already. Just that kind of contribution, that stardust, that kind of main attacking threat is something clearly that we're all missing. But when the Metsi the only one that's coming in at the minute, it is a bit slow on it. With potentially Joseph going and Bamford going, we're going to need another striker. It's completely obvious. And then potentially one that can play in the 10 as well would probably suit us. But, look, he basically noted that lack of marquee striker, winger or number 10. It needs to be resolved and hopefully resolved within the 29-day remaining of the transfer window. That's basically what it took from me. But going back, I've said it in previous videos again, and I have to repeat myself, but it's similar to that January window there, and me and you off air, we're like, let's be honest, we were like two bulls ready to attack because we wanted to get promoted so bad, and we're like, why won't you do it, why won't you do it? And he didn't do it, and look, it worked out well for us. We got up, we ended up as champions, and that's all good. But if Farke is demanding to play that 10 role, well, that has to be the next piece of the puzzle. 100%. I think the game against Villarreal, Brendan Aronson, I thought he played brilliant. I did, I have to be honest with you. But I don't think he's a number 10. I don't think Piroe's a number 10. It's just.
I think in the Premier League, he'll
get bullied.
The wing would be a bit better for Aronson. And look, let's be honest, when I think back the games in the Premier League, that's probably where Brendan Aronson had his better games. I definitely remember the Chelsea game as well. And look, obviously, we know what it was like under Marsh. It was very much the wingers, but they were very much kind of central. It was nearly essentially 3 number 10s, but he played out on that kind of right-hand side of it or the left-hand side of it, very rarely through the middle. So we definitely can deal with Dylan. So, look, it was obviously mentioned there. Look, is he going to be a starting option? No. But he comes on, he gives 100%, and there's games where we're going to need that. Has he got all the quality in the world? No. But look, again, he's one that's giving himself a fighting chance, a little bit like Piroe. And once he wears a lead shirt, we have to back him. I can't see Brendan Aronson going anywhere, so we have to back him, and let's hope he ups his game a little bit. BMG says, Dylan, Justin reported to be about 6 million, which is so cheap as well, Dylan. It's a no-brainer. No-brainer for that one for me. No-brainer. We appear to have been linked with loads. Are they all agent, media, lawyers? Yeah, look, it's getting like that, Pierre. And obviously when especially after Piroe as well. That was kind of the prime example of it. You know, we were linked with every single available winger then after that, and it's very easy then for these ex accounts as well. Like your man Sebastian Vidal, who kind of seems to copy Team Talk or Football Insider. He's very quick to kind of spout things out, or you know, it's a very kind of easy link to kind of make rather than real kind of sort of journalism. You know, anyone going to get behind an ex account and you know make up lies as well. So yeah, as I said, look, we obviously just bring you guys the news. We let you to make up your mind on it. We give our opinion on it. You know, whether we think it's true, whether it's credible or not, and then it's up to you to kind of make your mind up on it. Me personally, I always kind of wait till it comes from something a little bit more credible, whether it is from the YEP, you know, whether it's from, you know, Romano. It always feels like it needs to come from them first, Dylan, doesn't it, to have real kind of sort of credibility behind it. It's very rare, very, very rare that you get kind of the less credible ones getting an exclusive or an insight.
Yeah, it's a waiting game. Whether, you know, the 49ers, because they're so, you know, fly under the radar, as you said there, Romano or the YEP, that's what it's all about at the end of the day. And as I said before, for me, until Leeds pop it up,
Yeah.
I'm not going to jump on it. Talk about it, but I won't jump on it.
Yeah, 100%. I agree. 193, about 188, 193 in the building, guys. Please make sure you're smashing that like button. It would be absolutely fantastic if you could do that, guys. It would be very much appreciated. In my opinion, fullback cover was the biggest worry when watching Villarreal or the Villarreal game. 9 and a 10 would be great, but F-back cover first. I think Derek's like me. And a few people writing to me after the last one when I said for me the fullback cover has gone the priority now. It didn't mean that I didn't want the 9 or I didn't want the 10 or I didn't want the left winger. I just really feel that full back position, Dylan, at the minute for me, I won't be able to rest easy. Even if we get a striker in tomorrow, I won't be able to rest easy with that full back position because it's just it's giving me the chills at the minute. So yeah, look, we have to kind of see how it goes. Healy, if he goes 3 in midfield, but Tanaka doesn't get much game time, will he be Farke out as well? It's interesting, Dylan, isn't it, the midfield kind of situation, because as I said, I was looking forward to kind of seeing how it would have worked in there, you know, with Tanaka, with Stack, whatever was going to be Longstaff or Rampadale. I was very surprised that he left Tanaka out there. It probably means nothing, as I said. Like, it's a pre-season game against Villarreal. Tanaka could start against AC Milan and he could have it in his head who he wants out for that first game against Everton. So, but that midfield dynamic, Dylan, that's one that's really, you know, kind of intriguing me next season of what way he's going to go. Because if he is going to revert back to the 4-2-3-1, you know, you're likely having 3-4 very good midfielders missing out in there. You know, who's going to be our midfield too? So I'm starting to sway that it might be a 4-3-3 from Daniel Farke.
Look, potentially, and then as you said there, if it is 4 midfielders that are missing out, let's be honest with you, then it kind of gives that competition that hype. You know, with certain players. If Tanaka is sitting on the bench, I don't think it's going to happen. But if it is possible, me and myself included, and I agree with everyone that's probably in the chat here, we're probably saying, where is Tanaka? Why aren't we playing Tanaka? You know, it's going to happen. Like, but
yeah,
you don't want Farke, so you don't want these players thinking that they're just going to walk onto this pitch. It doesn't work like that. So, whatever way the formation that Daniel Farke sets up, it's in the interest for the players that are starting to continue to show what they're worth, to hang on to the jersey, because I think that's what Daniel Farke likes. He does something to these players. It's like he puts them under a spell. You know, if they drop some sort of, you know, performance, you know, let's be honest with you, they probably will get dropped, especially now going into the Premier League. So it's interesting to see what way he's going to set up, to be honest with you. But as I said, I think, I'd like to think that he has a plan B and will change the formation when needs to be changed. Because there's certain players that, you know, has disadvantages for certain players as well. So I think it's literally, Darren, as you said, throughout the whole season now going into it, it'll be different horses for different courses. That's what it's going to be.
It's good to have them options, Dylan, 100%. Yeah. John Pepper says here, we've got a very good medical team. We do now. It feels like we're a lot better than especially under Bielsa. It was just horrendous, wasn't it? We'd more off the field rather than on it. Pierre says Nemecha is very impressive. I do as well, Dylan. When he first came in and I seen him then first few minutes, obviously we were watching it over in Leeds because it was the day before the Creator Cup game, and I seen him for the first few minutes and he felt a little bit kind of...
I thought he was coming a lot deep.
Bit kind of gangly and, you know, kind of all over the place, and I was looking at him going, oh, I'm not sure about this one, but he kind of grew into the game, and having watched a little bit of highlights, very little highlights from what we've seen out in Germany, he looked okay. He looked good against Villarreal. Yes, he's looking forward to seeing him now against AC Milan as well the weekend. So, like, as I said about him, we can kind of get him fit and fully up to scratch. I definitely think he could be a real threat in the Premier League. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see with Nemecha what way it goes with him. Do you guys think that we will get anyone else or leave it till the last days of the window? I hope we get it done as soon as, to be honest with you, buddy. I'm sure, Dylan, you're thinking the same as well. But
I'm gone away from the Leeds way. Anyway,
it's tough,
that's the
Dylan.
first one.
We're kind of looking at them harder positions now, aren't we? As you say, it's a sprinkle of stardust now. These are the hardest positions in football to fill. You know, the attacking players, the goals, the assist side of thing. We kind of got the back line sorted fairly early. We got the midfield sorted fairly early. So I kind of knew when we got to filling that front line, I knew it was going to take a while. I knew it wasn't going to be an easy one. But now that it feels like the season's just around the corner now, and Farke obviously alluded to it as well, it feels like we really need to kind of step on the gas and get something done soon as.
It's all well and good, you know, to defend and dominate play in the midfield, but if you can't put the ball in the back of the net or keep creating chances, you're not going to win games. So, yeah, look, I'm not going to be negative about it. I fully trust them because, you know, they've stated that they're going to spend every bit of money that needs to be spent in certain positions for this team. And, yeah, definitely, I think, you know, a fullback, preferably two. Maybe I'm being a bit greedy, a 10, a striker, and a winger. So, still a lot of business in my eyes that needs to be done, I think, for this team to be finished. It'll never
them
be
long
finished,
positions as well, Dylan. We can look at them long positions as well. Like they can be really, really key as well, Dylan. So yeah. BMG says, I expect we'll use different players and formations depending on the opposition and on whether it's home or away. Exactly, buddy. And we've seen a little bit of that from Daniel Farke, maybe not formation wise, but we've seen that away from home last year, Dylan, didn't we, with Gruev and Tanaka being the preferred choice for games away from home, and then obviously then we went more attacking them when we were at home. So Farke might have something like that in his head as well, where the away games you might want to be a little bit more defensive and that. So yeah, it's a good point from BMGs, and Farke, I'm sure, will already have that in his head 100%.
We've seen it. Me and you've seen it. We're watching watchalongs, and you know, waving game. It's very dead. You know, I was complaining about Ambadou last season, slowing the ball down an awful lot. We're not, you know, that kind of Leeds attack sort of narrative, especially with Solomon or DJ going up, or even Bogle, let's be honest, on the overlap. Potentially with the away fixtures, that could be something of the reason why we've got certain players that we've got. But yeah, you never know, lads. You could end up playing three at the back. You just don't know what way he's going to set up. Like it's a lot of potential and a lot of twists and turns that you can do with this team.
Good variation in that team now, Dylan, isn't it? As I said, the players there to suit different styles, so it's a good thing. And it's not often we said that about Leeds over the last couple of years. We were very much square pegs and round holes, but we have them options now to change.
I tell you what I'm surprised about. I'm surprised at the fact that there's not a lot of outgoings.
I think they might come to it. I think they're going to start coming. Like, as you said, we touch on it there, your Mez as well. I think we might see someone go as well. As I said, look along your Gruev, which I think is actually been brilliant during the pre-season. But you might see him go if he kind of gets the inkling that he's not going to get much game time.
Stroke as well.
Yeah. I think we're still probably yet to see one of the kind of the bigger ones going. Yeah, so yeah. What a shame Joseph threw his toys out. He would be getting so much game time now. Exactly, buddy. He would have 100%. And we spoke about it when it was obviously a little bit about Gelhardt going to Rangers. He could have went about it the right way. Obviously, you know, went to Daniel Farke behind closed doors, said, look, I want to play football. I feel like I'm ready now. I'll do the best I can in pre-season. I'll come out, and then as soon as a loan option comes up, I'd like to go play football and go prove myself. And I'm sure Daniel Farke wouldn't stood in his way. It's the way that he's gone about it, buddy. And he could already have his move if he didn't go the way about it. And look, I think I heard he was in the tunnel at the Villarreal game. Kind of didn't show his face. Still not showing up to train. He's very much ostracized himself from that team as well. Just not the way to go about it at all. So yeah. Lucky on him. Dr. Cox says, need to pick up the arse, the 49ers, the deal, buddy, the deal. We'll have to give them one to get them going, definitely. Tanaka has to start for me, goes class acts. Wouldn't look out of place at the top end. I'd agree, buddy. I'm sure you are as well, Dylan. Tanaka, for me, he has to start.
You're mad not to. And I keep saying it, and I'm going to keep saying it. I don't care. I think he could play in the 10, lads. I'd love to see Tanaka. Just one game. See how he goes. I just think he has that sprinkle of stardust that you're always saying, and you know, lads, he can ping a ball and he can have a shot as well, and he's not afraid to shoot.
BMG says Longstaff might have not been great the weekend, but you can only read so much into a couple of pre-season games. He'll be solid in my opinion. I think so as well, but it's still kind of the settling in period as well from as well. I wouldn't be reading too much into the pre-season games as well. Still a lot of settling in. Hopefully Perry as well, Dylan. There was a couple of murmurs of Perry being injured, but Farke obviously just denied it and said that he still has a bit of training to do and making his way into the team. So hopefully we see Perry the weekend as well. We get a first look at him. I'd be surprised if we get at least one or two in before the Everton game. Yeah, we'll have to see, but I'd like to get a bit more in. This is the thing, finding a striker in this market who scores goals is near enough impossible unless you have the capital to spend some serious cash. The most sought after, Dylan, aren't they, the striker position? They always are, like. Always are.
It's the final piece of the puzzle. You know, we've clearly done it that way. We've started from the back and we were starting to gradually move up the pitch. Now it seems we need to go back to the defence, but obviously with the fullbacks to get that sorted. But yeah, look, I think a striker is definitely necessary. A 10, if he's not going to play Tanaka there. I know, I'm only messing. But look, it's just one of them things, lads. You have to wait and see what way he's going to do it. I genuinely think Farke is at the kind of, what would you say, he's not going to go back into his old habits. He's definitely going to have a plan B this time.
Thanks very much for your super chat. GP26 says, mark my words, we will finish 9th. I'm so chilled. I would love that, buddy. I would absolutely love that. Shows you we don't need to sell. We have money, says GP26 again. Thanks for your super chat, buddy. Yeah, look, it feels like the 49ers have all the finances in place, Dylan. As I said, we've done really good on that back line as well, Dylan, haven't we? We've saved a good few quid there. And now it feels like we can spend a little bit more, you know, in them forward areas. Obviously, granted that the players want to come, and obviously this is where the roadblocks are going to be. Is that, and Jan mentioned it there, is that when they have the talent and the quality that Leeds United are looking at and the pond that we're fishing in, naturally you're going to have these European sides that are in for them as well. So to get one of these across the line, we're going to need a little bit of luck and a player that's willing, you know, to come to Leeds and really kind of buy into the project as well. So.
Well, as you said, buying into the project, you know, with just Leeds being Leeds as it is, you know, I think the history kind of shows it, obviously not the bad times, but certainly the good times. And now with the 49ers coming in and looking to change the whole culture of Leeds in the sense of with Elland Road and stuff, stadium expansion, you know, the sponsorship deals. I think look, money talks, but what I'm trying to say is it is hard to say no, in my opinion.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. Rob Nicholas says, are you worried if Bogle gets injured, seeing how terrible Smith is at defending? 100%, buddy. Yeah, 100%. We've touched on that. Like, me personally, I wouldn't rely on Smith. He hasn't played much. I know it's a very little sample size to go off of, but Farke obviously doesn't like him or doesn't rate him highly enough because he didn't get much game time. So yeah, I wouldn't be hanging my hat on him. And the same thing with Boyram as well. I said it before, the thoughts of Mo Salah or Jared Bowen running at Sam Boyram just gives me the absolute chill. So we need full back cover, 100%, definitely. Ian Moore says Mitrovic is well past his best. We need better in the Premiership. Yeah, look, I think he could do a job for us, buddy. I really do. And I said things are getting tight now. The start of the window again, if you're asking me this a couple of weeks ago and saying where you get Mitrovic, I'd be saying no, but it seems to be getting a little bit tight now at this stage, and there's not much.
You don't want to get desperate either, though.
Boy, that's it. Yeah, that's it, Dylan.
I think a loan, maybe not buying, but definitely a loan would be, you know, the more that I think about it, a bully is something that we need, especially up front, you know. There's
a difference there, but then from Lee Jones and saying we should go all out for Mitrovic. So there's such a sway there on that, Dylan, isn't there? Like, it's, the opinions is mad, the difference in opinion there. You never know with possible loan players like Mitrovic, Grealish. Wages should seem to be prohibit, but the parent club can ride them, and then it could be opportunities if the player wants it as well. Yeah, look, as wages obviously is going to be a massive one for the likes of Mitrovic and Grealish as well. The wages there is going to be absolutely massive unless City are going to be willing to pay a large chunk of his wages, which I wouldn't think they would, Dylan, with you, but that's obviously going to be the deal breaker of how much they're actually looking at. I read an article today and I can't remember who it was from, but I think it was that was talks about the Khannouss one, that was his package was meant to be 50k a week or something like that, which I actually don't think is too bad in the Premier League. So if that's the sort of wages that we're handing out for players like that, it actually isn't too bad, where Grealish is obviously going to be, I don't even know what he's on at City, probably double, triple that. So it's a massive amount of wages in that Leeds. I don't think are going to fork out that money.
No, you don't want to be putting too many people on the wage bill either, paying that sort of money. I'm not being negative at all. We don't want to fall into certain problems that we've had in the past with, loan clauses or release clauses. We're not a charity at the end of the day. We're trying to make ourselves an established Premier League club, and you don't want to be throwing wages out the window or spending money that doesn't need to be spent.
Yeah.
Get the basics.
Get the basics. Darren Cunningham says, Farke is smart. Tanaka was Bundesliga 2 a year ago. 100%. I think he'll be slowly introduced into the Prem over the first few games, and then when he's comfortable, then he'll start. He'll be incredible. Yeah, 100%. And it was the same about Tanaka, Dylan, as well. Remember when he was first signed, everyone was saying, Bundesliga 2, we need better than this. And this when we're down in the Championship, and what a gem he turned out to be. It can't write players off too quick, Dylan, can't you? Because it can come back. It can come back to bite you. We've seen it. Even the Joe Rotwell one as well, Dylan, when he was signed on loan as well, everyone was losing their head going, what are we doing here? And he turned out to be very, very key. Our set piece taker. The influence that he had as well. So you can't be too quick to write off players. 100% not. I think Roma don't want Petrovic because there's Evan Ferguson. Petrovic is 25 mil to get him. I think he means Mitrovic. I think it's probably correct there with that one. How much left in the piggy bank? Who knows, buddy? Who knows? But Dylan, you actually tallied it up there the other day about how much we spent. Was it 86-ish million that we estimated it at?
I think it was at that. Yeah, I think Richard Todd has a nice one there. I'll pop it up.
Yeah, you throw it up there. 7 players, 70 million spent. That leaves 80 million for another 4, or just 6 million leaves. Yeah. So I think you said it around 80 million, didn't I? I think it
was 80 million, give or take. Yeah, I think 84 or something like that. But it's a lot of money.
That's not bad. And what we were told, 150 roughly that Leeds will have to spend.
Something like that, yeah, give or take. But look, as I said, I don't mind what they spend as long as they stay in within the PSR rules. I just don't want to hear, come January, at the finishing the turkey dinner, at Christmas, to hear that Leeds are to get deducted points because we didn't follow PSR rules. Just spend the money wisely. We don't need anyone, mad money, as you said there. Like Grealish, for example. I'm not saying it's a bad one, but for his wages, it's probably a bit mad. Like it's probably just asking for a bit of trouble, you know what I mean? Let's be honest with you. I think Bogle is phenomenal at the minute as well. So I know Grealish is a winger, but I mean, in the sense of you don't want to be spending money where it doesn't need to be spent. That's basically what I'm getting at. Or just get nervous when it comes to that like that, lads. Anxiety through the roof.
James Gavin says here, gents, we can't afford to be playing catch-up in the league. We should have our attacking reinforcements, at least some of them in place for the Everton game. Right back, left back needed also as well.
100%.
Yeah, I think I'm in agreement with that. And you could probably see by Farke, ideally, I think he'd like to have them in before that Everton game, but he's kind of said at the very latest, he said was before that international break. So I don't think himself that he thought it would rumble on too long. As long as it is. Mick says here, what about Raheem Sterling? Lots of Prem experience. I'm not too sure about the Sterling one. I can understand the point of view where someone might say, I want to go for Raheem, but then the other side of it as well, I think Arsenal is obviously he failed at Chelsea, he failed at Arsenal as well. I don't know what it is, and there's something about Raheem Sterling there for me that just screams stay away from her. I don't know what's your opinion. What's everyone else's in the opinion? What's your in the chat? What's your opinion as well? For me, I
think he has, as Mick said there, he has a lot of experience. Is it the experience we need in a player like him? I don't think so. But being honest, me personally, I'd rather just go for Solomon over like Raheem Sterling. Look, at the end of the day, it's not a bad show either. But as you said there, he didn't really do well at Chelsea. He hasn't done well at Arsenal. City was his days, and Liverpool, he's kind of been everywhere. Just kind of.
He's not getting good feedback here. He's not getting good feedback. Yeah, I don't know what it is about Sterling. I don't get. Yeah, again, I wouldn't touch Sterling with a barge pole. I think I'm the same as well, and I probably can't really even give a reason behind it. This one here, I think that would be a massive downgrade, even on Solomon as well. But he's just where he's at the minute. Yeah, I don't know, Dylan. I don't know what it is. I don't know why I'm saying no. It just feels like just stay away from it.
I'm still crazy with the dinosaur little arms.
It's run as well. Yeah. 100%. I wanted to pull up a comment here as well from Derek says here, whoever the creative signing is also needs to be good at set pieces. All these big players, no one to deliver it across, and it's massive, Dylan. We've said this as well, haven't we? And look at El Khannouss can do that. We've seen some of El Khannouss's delivery in his free kicks as well. He can definitely put a set piece in the box.
Stack can as well, though.
That's imperative though, Dylan. Yeah, Stacks one actually today
Stacks
flashed
one was
across,
unbelievable.
but he's a big lad though as well, Dylan. I think would you rather him on the end of it, if you could get someone creative now, a little bit smaller, and you have Stack in the box, on the end of them. But I'd agree. It's going to be massive.
I was baffled seeing him even taking the set piece. What's going on here? But then when he delivered that ball in like that, I was like, hold on now a second. They're seeing something I'm not seeing, and it was terrific. To be fair,
that's a good one. Sterling our hearts.
Neither. Sean, don't be throwing out comments like that, will you? Don't be. You're gonna get everyone riled up, including myself.
Priority wise, we ideally need a striker before the Everton game. We could probably live without a new winger for that game. Yeah, I think so. And a fullback as long as Bogle is fit, but they cover must come in. Yeah, look, I think probably in the long run, like if this is gonna sound absolutely crazy and you're gonna shoot me, but I think if someone turned around to you now and said Leeds can only sign one more player for the rest of the window, I think for me it would have to be fullback cover. And then I'd wait till January and get somebody in there to kind of help Joe Piroe.
I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear
just stay down full-back position at the minute. But I can understand where BMG is coming from here. Like, if Bogle is fit and we can go into that game and we know we're going to get a striker and a left winger, that probably would feel like the priority. But yeah, I don't know what it is. I'm hung up on this full-back position big time. Thanks very much for your super chat, Tom. Really appreciate it. Up the boys, bringing all the community together, as women's mental health is a big thing this day and age. So love you so much. Keep it up, lads. Thanks very much, Tom. Yeah, they do really appreciate it, buddy. Yeah, thanks very much.
Thanks very much.
Really, really fun comment. We try our best. We try to be as level-headed as possible here on OnlyLeedsBros. We talked about it with BMG on Friday night as well. We try not to be too reactionary. We try to obviously give our opinion and get yours. So that's obviously the aim of the channel here, as much as you can. BMG is just straight out there. He's being negative, Dylan. I think it's time to get a mic.
No, we'll let him have it. Yeah, at the end of it, if a man wants to be negative, he can be negative.
Michael Pollard says here, set pieces as a stand. Jack Harrison is our set piece kingpin. Get him gone. Yeah, I think he's been taken as well, hasn't he, at the minute? So, yeah, I'd agree with you there, Michael. 100%. I would get him gone. This one as well, Dylan, and this is one that I came up. I would, Dylan. I'd take Brownhill. I know that midfield is kind of stacked there at the minute, but yeah, for a free Josh Brownhill, it seems like a no-brainer. I would.
For a free, 100%.
Yeah, I would. I think he 18, 19 goals from midfield in Championship. Now, look, it's a Championship. But yeah, I think there's a cool player there in Josh Brownhill. I 100% will be all over him. Definitely, 100%. Dylan's not worth saying no. Loving the stream as always, bros. MOT says Seamus Durkin. Thanks very much, buddy. Do really, really appreciate the kind comments. Andrew, I heard all the talk. Oh yeah, sorry. Andrew, I heard the talk that Brownhill wants a big signing on fee, a massive wage. Yeah, again, if he's going to be demanding that as a free agent, I don't think we're gonna go anywhere near him, are we? Just put the bit. Oh, sorry, you thought you were saying something. Just to put it to bed, Mitrovic played 129 games in the Premiership and scored 38 goals. Yeah, I remember. Hadn't he got, I think Danny Talks Leeds will be able to pull it up, or maybe Sean or anyone in the chat there. Remember his stats in the Championship were absolutely ridiculous. He was banging in goals for fun in the Championship. Like probably one of the best strikers that Championship I've ever seen. He was ridiculous one year where he was just unstoppable. Yeah,
he was actually scary.
Set pieces at Villa where it handles really well. I'm not sure what you mean by that one, buddy. I'd be totally amazed if we can't get a centre forward, a winger, an attacking midfielder, and defensive backup in this window. Yeah, so would I, buddy. It feels like there is enough time to do it. Surely the 49ers now, you think we'd get everything done. Of course, all the promises that we've been given as well, Dylan, that to be doing everything in this window to get us Premier League ready. So you'd like to think that. The last guy who...
Sorry, it could be a show for if Joe B is watching, for potentially Simicast coming in now.
still waiting for the Simicast sign.
We could jump in on that, it'd be no harm. Like we could deal with the cover.
Mick says we are a Premier League club, so we will have to spend Premier money, not being cheapskates on wages. 50,000 per week. Yeah, agree, buddy, agree. But the other side of it as well is, obviously, work within them financial constraints. Obviously, don't kill ourselves. We've seen what we've done in the past as well. So if it means for us pulling back on one deal to, not risk the future of the club or overpaying wages or overpaying fees for players. That's personally what I'd rather. Obviously, I think as Leeds fans, we've seen how bad it can get when you bow down to players' fees and wage demands. Brownhill all day. I heard Jack Clark mentioned a few times as well. Possible signing for me. It's an absolute no. Was shocking last season for Ipswich. Yeah. What would you be dealing on Jack Clark? I obviously have my say. What would you think if he was the one? There's no links to this whatsoever, but it's obviously just being brought up in the chat. What would you think?
I don't like going back. I don't like looking at the past. I like the future. On my way, we've seen certain players how they've turned out, and even down to Callum Phillips. And I love Phillips, lads. Don't get me wrong, I do, but he ain't getting back into this team, and I don't see Jack Clark getting into this team either. So, no. If I'm being honest with you.
Call me negative. You can call him negative now.
No, he's
but
not
when it's
negative.
about
No.
Sterling, it's realism. He's totally and utterly, completely crap,
Exactly.
and that's being kind. I think so as well. Like, yeah,
I think that's being positive.
Yeah, just telling the truth. I don't think you can deny that. Brownhill definitely don't know why it's not done yet. Well, there's obviously talk there of a signing on fee and wages as well. So if he is kind of pushing that ball out, you can understand with the 49ers. Midfield was a handful in the Prem too. It's just his temperament that worries me. Yeah, he can lose the rag a little bit. But the other side as well, BMG, we spoke about if you can channel it in the right way. Because I don't think we'd really have that. Nemecha tries to put himself about. Piroe definitely doesn't do that. So if we could have that bully of a striker, Dylan, I'd be all over 100%.
I love a head case. Who doesn't?
Stephen Bourne says 43 goals in one season in the Championship. Midfield was crazy. I remember it was like the stats was absolutely ridiculous, Dylan. Absolutely crazy. But let's talk about I left this kind of towards the very, very end of the window because I don't think there's anything in it. But we were linked to him earlier on in the window, Dylan. Nikola Kristovic from Leeds, Dylan. It came up again today. Now, look, as I said, take this very, very lightly, very much with a pinch of salt because this obviously comes from Sebastian Vidal, but he had tweeted that Leeds United are on the move again, Dylan, for Kristovic. We heard earlier on in the window that the Italian media were the ones drumming this up, that it was agent talk, it was media talk, obviously trying to push to get him a move out of Leeds as well. It feels like, again, it's very much truckloads, pinch load of salt for this one as well, Dylan, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Look, as you said, they're no credible source. I've done a bit of digging into him. As you said, he's 25, he had 11 goals last season, with 5 assists and 37 appearances. Obviously, it's a lot different to the Premier League. But his physical, he's obviously a centre forward, his body strength, and he holds up the ball very, very well. Good at drawing fouls and creating space for his teammates, and then he can finish in the box comfortably with both feet. Preferably, he actually is both feet. It doesn't actually stay on. What was the site that you always give me? It says both. It doesn't say left or right. So, fair enough. You know what I mean? Comfortable both feet. Dangerous into the 18-yard. And, he finishes it well. Doesn't take many shots from distance, but focuses on kind of in and around the 18 is mostly where he goes. He presses aggressively off the ball, tracks back when needed, and fits our system very well, and covers a lot of ground for a central striker. So potentially, it wouldn't be bad.
Yeah.
But yet again, lads, take it with a pinch of salt.
Yeah, that, as I said, this one came up again, but it's mad how things like this swings them round about, because obviously at the very start of the window, this was one of the very first shows that we done about Leeds transfer news, and he was a name that we spoke about at the time. He was coming up, and then it was completely squashed, as I said, that it was the Italian media and the Italian journalists on X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it. They were the ones trying to push the boat and get the moves for these players as well. So it just shows you on X, this is the prime example of it, is take all this sort of stuff with a pinch of salt. Your man Vidal as well seems to always take everything from Team Talk. We know the Team Talk credibility isn't very good. Football Insider isn't very good. He always seems to take snippets off that and retweets them himself like he knows stuff, but he very rarely gets anything about Leeds United right. So it is just about just waiting for the credible ones to come out. Richard says here, don't want to sound negative, but we have bought resaleable assets. Yeah, we have, buddy. That's the truth of it. Should the worst happen, but 4 top signings and we could be in Europe. Yeah, look, it's sometimes, Dylan, that's it, Dylan. You're a couple of signings off, obviously staying in the league, pushing on to Europe, or you're a couple of bad signings away from being back down in the Championship. That's the name of the game of the transfer window, isn't it, Dylan? It has to be more or less spot on.
It's the way it goes, but I love that there at the end. Top 4 signings. We could be in Europe. I love the positivity. I'll be all over it.
Yeah, me too, 100%. This one here from BMG says, Dylan, definitely need an edge, which Mitrovic has, bit like Alioski. Love it until it spills over when he assaulted the ref. Yeah, right. That I agree with you there, but yeah, we don't need that. We don't need that. Ian Ward said, I would expect a few players to leave this week. Yeah, I'd expect this week to be a big week, Dylan. I thought we might have got a little bit today. I thought something might have came out today and it hasn't, but I'm really interested to see this Friday. We're obviously live again on Friday 8:30, looking back on this show of what the difference 4 days can make. So I'm hoping we get a bit done this week. I think we need 8 players that are English in the squad, so maybe Premier League experience, English based players. Yeah, I think it is 8. I actually think you're right, buddy. I think it is 8. Can't even think off the top of my head, and I've even got that quoted on. So obviously we have Byram, obviously 100%. Alex Kearns. Who else have we got? Bogle, yeah. That's 3. That's what we got.
Longstaff.
Yeah, 4.
Why
Jack
you putting me on
Harrison
the spot
at
like this?
Jack Harrison at the minute would be 5.
What would it count for, like, the youths?
Lads help us out here. Howson. Harry Gray, forgot about Harry Gray as well.
I was going to say Harry, and I'm not saying I didn't count, but I was like, the youths come into that kind of equation that
Yeah.
obviously get their professional contract, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, they will do 100%. Yeah, and Neymar said Harry Gray is there as well. Yeah, so yeah, it would make sense. I think it is 8 as well that we need as well. One slight handicap we have right now is that we don't have anyone that we can sell for a big profit. At least knowing that we would want to sell. Yeah, probably. It's probably bad to say, but probably Tanaka Dylan probably will be obviously what we bring him in for 3.5.
Why are we having this conversation?
No, but I'm just saying, like, obviously he's saying one slight handicap is that we do have is that you wouldn't sell anything for profit. I think Tanaka will be. I think he'd be looking definitely 25 plus. Me personally for Tanaka, I think.
100.
Bamford as well, yeah. British, not English, isn't it? Well, is it all British then? Then obviously, then you would have Darlow, Ampadu, Rodon, James. They'd all come into it as well, then, wouldn't they? Yeah, James then and all as well. Yeah, so the lads are spot on. Lads helped us out there as well. We go for Amari Hudson, but I think he would prefer to go to Brentford. Oh yeah, Amari Hudson for me definitely 100%. But yeah, I think he's looking a little bit further up the table. Would love to know what country Underwood is in right now. Would have more of a clue what we were going for. Yeah, me too. If only you could have a tracker on. Do you know who's the man to ask? Joe Blackburn is the man to ask. Could he just be tracking He does be tracking planes all over the place. So Joe Blackburn is your man to ask. He'd probably know exactly where he is. No, Darren Striker priority, my friend, says John Pepper. I disagree, buddy. Striker for me at the minute, buddy. But I can totally understand where you're coming from. It probably comes back from the fullback position because I was a fullback myself, so maybe that's why I think that way. I thought of Tanaka, but we'd be not selling him. Yeah, 100% no. Gruev would bring profit in. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, possibly. Not massive profit though. Not massive profit.
Stroke probably would.
Stroke could shout to them. Stroke would actually be, yeah. How much for Harrison before the profit PSR? I think it isn't a pure PSR profit now done for Harrison as well. Obviously, when you bring his wage in, which is like 80, 90 grand a week, and then I think if you're getting 6 or 7 mil for him, I'd be more than happy to let him go then.
Yeah, 100%. I would as well. Like, that's mad money, man.
Absolutely hated Mitrovic when he elbowed Ben White in the head, but looking back at it now, he was an absolute and will become to sign him up. Yeah, exactly. He's one of them where you'd rather him on your side rather than against you, buddy, 100%, wouldn't you? I think the criteria is that they have to be in British Academy for 3 years or be British. I think you're right, buddy. I think they have to be in a British Academy for such a period of time, isn't it? Leeds Bros, you're both Irish, do you? How do you rate your fellow countryman Keith Andrews? I don't. Yeah, and as I said, I'm willing to live and die on that hill. If he turns around and does a good job with Brentford and keeps them up this season, I'll hold my hands up and say I was absolutely wrong. But if you look back at Keith Andrews' career, anywhere he's been, anywhere he's coached, obviously he hasn't been the main gaffer anywhere, but anywhere he's been, that club has gone down, has been relegated. I know him a good bit as well from watching the Republic of Ireland national team, and he's obviously a part of that camp, and it's always been horrendous. So I just don't rate him whatsoever as a coach. I think his punditry as well, Dylan, just wound me up as well, how he always seemed to stick the boot in Leeds for a very, very long time as well. So yeah, I don't think highly of him. But if it is a thing where he does well at Brentford, I'll hold my hands up and say fair play to him. But I can't see it.
I can't stand
Joseph as well. Yeah, forgot about Joseph as well. He would obviously count as that. Well, will he? Yeah, well, he should do. Yeah, he should do. I was going to say because he changed the leagues, but he obviously came through the academy. It's 3 million, Dylan. 3 million. Yeah, get through last couple of Collins. Send strike, then you weaken the defence. Yeah, I'd agree, buddy. I'd agree. I wouldn't want to set him. Strike would bring in a bit of profit as well, but that would be almost cost too much to replace. Yeah, 100%. Similar with Gruev, not worth selling in my opinion. Yeah, I'd just one or two. I'd like to keep Gruev, but obviously I think Mez to go, Harrison to go, 100%. Anyone else still you think off the top of your head, Schultz? Obviously Bamford, Joseph.
No. No, no, I don't. I'd rather see Gruev go than Stroke. I like Stroke.
Yeah, if you don't think, Brentford in trouble this year, defo 100%. Yeah, Bremo gone, Wizards gone, Thomas Frank gone. Yeah, I think they're in trouble big time. Just need 2 more teams then, lads. Yeah, 2 more teams. I think Brentford go. I think Burnley might go. Sunderland obviously done decent in the transfer window. Will be down about that. Interesting to see what Wolves do. Look at it.
Or West Ham.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe. I'm gonna anyone but Leeds. If you ask me, I think Leeds are gonna go down. I'm going to say absolutely not. But you have to try and predict the Premier League of the 3 going down. Be very, very, very hard to do. I want to break that mold of the last 2 years. The 3 promoted teams to go down as well. I want Leeds to break that mold this year. Joseph and Bamford count as homegrown players, but will most likely leave as well. Yeah, 100%. Right, Dylan, I think we will wrap it up there. We've gone well over the hour mark as well. Very, very enjoyable stream, lads. Love chatting to you as always. Myself and Dylan will be back, of course, every Friday at 8:30. We'll be back again with live news. Hopefully, we have a little bit to kind of sink our teeth into this Friday. As at the minute, as you can see, it's very, very thin on the ground, but we made the very most of it as what we could in this stream. We've talked about what we could. Dylan, anything to say to the people before we wrap it up and say goodnight?
I'm just delighted to be on for the week, lads. Get in there.
Come back to work tomorrow. One thing I forgot to say, lads, before I let you all go, don't forget we are doing a giveaway. It's going to be at the end of this month. Winner will be revealed on the 21st of August. So OnlyLeedsBros turns 1 at the end of this month, and celebrate. We're giving one of you a brand new Leeds United jersey of your choice, home and away, and then hopefully the third kit is out there so you can pick between any of the 3. So all you have to do to enter is subscribe to our OnlyLeedsBros YouTube channel, head across to our X and retweet the post, and of course tag a mate as well, guys. So all you have to do is scan that QR code. It'll bring you straight across there, or if you go into the link in the description below, if the QR code doesn't work, you can head across there and enter that competition. And as I said, the winner will be announced then live on stream on the 21st of August. We'll do the draw there and then to get it ready to go. Get through the last few. Very positive stream. Cheers, lads. Cheers, BMG. We try to be as much as we possibly can. Good night, lads. Night, Stephen. Enjoy, brother. WhatsApp is read only, is it? If you go into the description below, copy and paste that, buddy, it'll bring you, and then I'll have to accept you in, or pop me a private message, and I can get you into the WhatsApp. And pleasure as always, lads, says Jam. Right, we'll leave it there, guys. Thanks very much again. On your way out, guys, please don't forget to slap a like on the video, and of course hit subscribe if you're new here. We'll chat you all again soon. Mind yourselves and mind each other.